Good morning, bedheads. Click. And no, I'm not saying butt heads, but it's quite tempting. I like my potty humor, so Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. What is it, Tuesday? Third week of the F-45 administration. Feels like 10 years. Click. Okay, so again, feel very inspired to keep using this mug. It just seems too appropriate right now because we all are holding hands, aren't we? Got my white on today, and in fact, I had my flashlight out last night, but it appears my husband put it away. So he's very good at cleaning my little table off because sometimes I have too much stuff on it. If you're new here, hi, this is Coffee with Karen. We talk stuff that's going on in the world, but also then bring things back to center from a spiritual perspective. We explore spirituality, we're exploring our intuition, following our intuition. So, everybody here, there's no right or wrong answers here. It's about each of us following our own intuition, taking the action that's we're inspired to take. So nobody's expected to do anything. It's what we're inspired to do, what we're inspired to share. So I have a bunch of stuff on my little list. In fact, I just remembered. For those of you who are interested, 3 p.m. every day, there are folks who are meditating. So 3 p.m., whatever your time zone is. Okay. So, which is kind of cool. I think I'm getting that right. It doesn't really matter, but it's kind of cool. Like if you're doing it at 3 p.m. Pacific time, it'll be 5 p.m. Eastern time, but that's okay. Then we're all doing it at 3 p.m. and it'll be spread out a little bit, which I think is kind of cool. Somebody had left me a message again. Sometimes I see a lot of comments, but I see what I see. You know what I mean? I don't go through all of them. It would be practically impossible. Um, but the ones I do see, I will, if I take a picture of. So somebody had suggested, and I told her if I can find it. Yeah, so here's the one. Multiple channels have suggested doing a collective group meditation. Let's all meditate at 3 p.m. in each time zone here in the US, but you could do it anywhere in the world. Think of all the good we could do if we send love to everyone, that we all collectively make better choices for the benefit of all. So that's cool. All right. Got that one. Somebody had mentioned how they're doing. Shoot, I think I might have lost it. Basically, prayer for manifesting the good of all, sending out good energy. Thank you for sharing that. I can't seem to find the picture I took of it. But so there's a lot of good things, and you don't have to do stuff in groups. If you're busy at 3 o'clock, your time, then do it when you can. It's just about sending out that positive energy, right? Let's see. There's a bunch of protests going on. Actually, there's a protest at every capital tomorrow, February 5th. Every capital in the United States. And my understanding is it's spreading throughout the world too. And it is an anti F-45 campaign or protests. So if you want to participate, I think they're mostly at noon at different capitals, but you'll have to look. I don't have the schedule, and so you'll have to look if you want to participate in that. I don't know where my camera is on my computer. I was going to block it from me swallowing, but also I found I posted it on Blue Sky. There is a link to what's called the General Strike, which is very interesting. So those who, I think people who are, so it would be different, I think, for people who are retired, but they're trying to collect. The strike is coming. Join the movement. They currently have, so they need 10 million to make a difference. And 10 million, considering how many people there are, that's not a lot. So right now they're under 200,000. So it's called generalstrikeus.com. So sign the strike card. A general strike is when working people refuse their labor under demand until demands are met. Research shows we need 3.5% of the population, or 11 million Americans, to be successful. The strike card below tracks our progress so we all know when it's time to strike. So, and then it's learn more. I'm going to have to look into that because is it just those that are working? So if you're retired, or can we participate too? It says who is striking: regular people, actors, organizations, kids. So yeah, we can strike. Oh, they just won't go to school maybe. Artists, activists, teachers, fast food workers, athletes, drivers, gig workers, waiters, and more. Very cool. So pass that along. generalstrikeus.com. Pass that along as much as you can. And I wrote a letter to my senator yesterday. It was not a very friendly one. It was with, I don't know. You want me to read it to you? I wasn't going to read it, but I'm like, well, maybe I'll read it. Okay. Again, you might disagree with my approach, but this was the mood I was in last night. And you know how we talked yesterday, and last night I did a card reading, and Lee Harris Energy, his February update talks about the rise of conscious anger. And some of us in the comments were talking about how we use anger to motivate us, right? So as long as we work on dissolving where that anger is coming from, then I think, let it motivate you. But I was really kind of annoyed last night. So the rise in conscious anger hit me when I wrote to Dear Senator Baldwin. I realize what we are hearing on the news is very hard to discern what is fact or fiction. However, the thing I'm not hearing much about is anything that's making me or my online community feel confident that the Democrats even exist. Again, this is just from my limited view, right? And again, how I was feeling last night. It feels like the Trump administration is doing whatever the heck they want, regardless of the law. Even hearing Jasmine Crockett on CNN talking about who knows what Elon Musk is doing with the Treasury does not leave American citizens feeling very confident that anyone is doing anything to stop the shenanigans. Now, I don't watch CNN, but I do subscribe to Jasmine's YouTube channel. So then anytime she does something, she, look at this hair, my goodness. She, has it on her YouTube channel. So she was on there and she's just like, she's a pistol, but she was like, I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing? And I'm looking at her going, what do you mean? What are you doing? Like, it didn't leave me feeling very confident at all. So now I write, seriously, is anyone doing anything about this criminal mob-like administration? The fact that our government let a felon even run for office and all the stuff he gets away with is starting to make us feel like everyone in government is in on it. Obviously, this is something we've never seen before, which means the approach the Dems have always relied on has to change, and change fast. We need to know what is happening. We're tired of the secrets, tired of being manipulated and gaslit. How are you doing things differently going forward? What can we expect from you? To see so many government officials cower to Trump is absolutely ridiculous. The Republican Party is one big scheme to steal money from the American people. Again, my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only and alleged. The fact that we are allowing the Christian nationalists to hijack our country is extremely disturbing. Are the Dems in on it too? This is how it feels. It feels this way to me. So much needs to change. Number one, our government officials should never be able to purchase individual stock. Now I go into just some detail. Number two, our government officials should have one long term so we don't have to deal with the constant running for office. That's all that ever gets done. Three, companies should not be able to contribute to a campaign. It's we the people, not we the corporations. Four, it should be illegal for politicians to lie. It is in Australia, so we can have it here too. So those are my little specifics that I decided to offer for some reason. I'm getting ready to ditch the federal government altogether. Why should I pay my federal taxes when Trump only pays $750 federal tax in, what was it, 2019? Because that was leaked, 2019. The whole thing is a big joke. I've been angry about the election and MAGA, but I can feel my anger now being directed towards the Democrats because it's starting to look like you all completely failed us. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's things going on behind the scenes that will actually show that someone actually cares that fascism is moving in, that they are not following any rules and laws. Elon Musk should have been arrested for doing what he did with the Treasury. If the Democratic Party tried any of this crap, they would have been. You see what kind of mood I was in last night? We have to get a backbone or we're screwed. Thanks for listening to my vent. We can't afford to not be blunt. We can't afford to not be blunt anymore. We're way beyond that. All I know is that I'm not going to live in a fascist country for the next 4 years and beyond. I signed up for your newsletter. I truly hope we hear from you on a regular basis about actual things that are being done, not just attempted to get the situation under control. Best, Karen. So that was my letter to my senator. So I did that. Then I was poking around on her website and I found this very interesting. So, you know how we were talking about possibly, interruptions to internet, interruptions to power grids and stuff like that. Now, again, that's always a possibility. And that's, the whole preparedness movement, they're always talking about that. But what I found really interesting, because I had said, I think a couple mornings ago I said, well, how would they communicate with us if we didn't have our phones? And somebody very wisely in the comments said, well, we always have AM radio in our cars. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I mentioned that to my husband the night before I read this on my senator's website. So again, I was poking around on her website, just seeing what is she doing, because you can poke around on your senator's websites to see it depends on what they communicate with you. But so this was very interesting. I'm like, this is a synchronicity thing. This is not a coincidence. So she just on the 5th, oh no, the committee meeting is on the 5th. The committee meeting's tomorrow at 10 a.m. So on the 29th of January, okay, so last week, Senator Tammy Baldwin introduced a bill to require the Secretary of Transportation to issue a rule requiring access to AM broadcast stations in passenger motor vehicles and for other purposes. Right? I mean, isn't that interesting? She introduced that bill on January 29th. They're meeting tomorrow on the 5th. Just saying. Why would she all of a sudden introduce a bill about requiring access to AM broadcast stations? So, what do you think about that? I don't want to make predictions on it. I just find it interesting. I just find it really interesting. There's a lot of synchronicity there. Okay, so I told you. And the last thing I wanted to tell you, because I really like this on Blue Sky, if you're concerned about how they're taking away health information and all that, on Blue Sky, you can follow Dr. Vin Gupta. So do you remember Dr. Gupta? He was always on CNN during the pandemic. So Dr. Gupta is his son. He's also a doctor. So I saw one post from him and he's like, you can always trust me to tell you the truth type of thing. And so he basically, yeah, so you can follow him on Blue Sky. But listed, he just posted, unbelievably chilling to see the complete decimation of the CDC's independence and credibility in real time. The forces seeking to harm us will not prevail. CDC data are disappearing. Okay. And that's an article. So, it's really interesting because I think when legacy media, when we felt like, well, who can we trust? And now I'm realizing there's a bunch of people we can trust, you know, and actually get way better information, like the David Feldman show or Dr. Vin Gupta, and actually get the truth. So I think this is really going to hurt legacy media a big, big, big time. But I think that's a really good thing. So there's, a lot of this is just really positive stuff coming out of this. So I like that. Okay, let's talk a little bit of a few things from a spiritual perspective that I found very interesting. I heard this quote yesterday, and unfortunately, I don't know who to contribute it to. I actually meant to Google it. So somebody had said, another spiritual leader, and the reason I don't know who to contribute it to is because I heard it on a different podcast and they were quoting somebody else. And I didn't catch the name because I was working out at the time. So everything you think of, every time you think of your future, you've altered it. Try to get your head wrapped around that. Every time, I'm going to Google it real quick. Every time you think of your future, you've altered it. So if you wonder why timelines shift, this is just a perfect example. Yeah, I didn't see anything. It'd be interesting to see what AI says about that. But if you think about the timeline shifts that we've all been experiencing, or like why, people will say this is supposed to happen here and that, like our guides, all of our guides, right? So many of our guides are telling us timing of things, and then things keep shifting. Well, maybe it's because we're talking about that future, and then the minute you do, the timeline switches. Wow. I think a lot of this, especially a lot of this conversation, is really bringing home how powerful we are. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. But having an ego and having the fight and flight response, it's quite challenging. That's quite challenging. So it's something for us to always be working on, I guess. Because I'm not going to, I can't, you can always do the cut, clear, cancel. You have an opinion or you have a thought that you put out in the universe that you don't want to have put out there, an energy. You have like 17 seconds to cut, clear, cancel, and then move on according to law of attraction, Esther Hicks. But Abraham channels through Esther Hicks. She's on YouTube too. I wouldn't obsess about it because, I've kind of obsessed about it in the past and it can drive you a little nuts. So I find that quite challenging from a human perspective. So do the best you can. And it's just interesting. Every time you think of your future, you've altered it. So really the lesson in that is live in the moment. Like, don't even think about the future. Live in the moment. So rather than us always being obsessed with like, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen tomorrow in our lives and with the bigger picture with Dumpy and all this kind of stuff, then it's about living in the moment. It's like, what is happening right now? What is happening right now? And stop focusing on the future, because the minute we focus on the future, we alter it. You might want to just write that down in your journal or on a note to put it on your fridge, because it is quite a reminder to live in the present moment. Maybe that's really just the answer. Your thought process in the present moment, because nothing else exists except for the present, right? Fascinating. Okay, and one other thing I found really interesting, and I'm going to refer to the Golden Future. Currently reading this in the Spirit Circle together, but I'm going to bring some here. So in case people are not able to join the Spirit Circle, there is a section in here. It's on page, if you have the book, it's on page 98, 99, 98 through 101. Okay. And I found this really interesting. I'm going to cover one little section of it. There are 30. Okay. So when the great illumined, this is what she says. So when the great illumined Master Jesus incarnated, he simplified spiritual laws. Now she said thoughts. He simplified thoughts. I don't know who that is. THOTH', spiritual laws into 33 laws, plus 3 transcendent ones. These spiritual laws were divided into 4 types: the basic laws of life, the laws of creation, the laws of higher awareness, and the laws of higher frequency. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of laws. There's 33 of them. Okay, I'm not going to go over all of them. That would be way too long. But they're really worth studying. So the law of challenge is the one I wanted to talk about today, because I tried this last night with my SGs. The law of challenge is for your protection in the 3rd dimensional world of light and dark. If a being enters your space under this law, if you ask, in the name of Christ, are you the purest and highest light, 3 times, an honest answer must be given. That is called the law of challenge. So you would say, in the name of Christ, are you of the purest and highest light, 3 times. So I took my dowsing rods. Let me go get them. My husband put them away. Okay, so for those of you who have been around, you know I use these to communicate with my spirit guides. But I thought, okay, well, how do I 100% know? Because I don't have clairvoyance or clairaudience yet. I'm working on that. So how do I know for sure, right? And how do you know for sure? And I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. So let me just do my normal prayer. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides and guardians, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel so it's only of the light. Amen. And I know a lot of people suggest different things. Hey, you guys, they're saying hello. How are you today? Cool. A lot of people suggest things and I really appreciate it. Mostly because it'll help other people discern. Now, I haven't made any changes to mine. Everybody has to do what they're comfortable with, okay? But I really do appreciate people's suggestions on how to invite in the truth, how to invite in the light only, all that kind of stuff. And thank you for sharing. Whether I change mine or not is not relevant. It's how you're helping other people find what's helpful for them. Okay. So, and that doesn't mean I won't adjust mine. I'm taking notes on it. I just haven't had the time to think about it. All right. So what I'm going to do, hey, you guys, so I'm going to just say, I'm going to ask, so in the name of Christ, are you the purest and highest light? In the name of Christ, are you the purest and highest light? In the name of Christ, are you the purest and highest light? So I asked 3 times. Okay, so they're saying no, and this was what happened last night. Okay, so then I decided I would call in. May I please communicate with the highest, what did it say? The highest and purest light. I would like to communicate with the highest and purest light. So I'm assuming now that this is God. I guess that would be the highest and purest light, right? Or source, or however you just define it. Okay. So am I speaking to God? Okay, thank you. So then I asked, so this is just kind of the exploration. Then I asked, so thank you, God, source, for being here. When I am speaking with my spirit guides, so now I went right to the source, right? So when I am speaking to my spirit guides when I am talking through these dowsing rods, okay, when I am utilizing these dowsing rods to communicate with who I think is my spirit guides and my guardian angels, is that true? Is that who I am communicating with? Yes. Now remember, because I asked 3 times, according to the law of challenge, an honest answer must be given. Okay. So, and now because okay, yes, wide swing, yes. Thank you. So so let me just ask again. When I am communicating, even though, see, it's interesting because my spirit guide said, no, we are not the purest and highest light, right? But that doesn't mean that they're dark light, They're not the purest and highest because God is. So I thought that was a very honest answer. No, we're not, right? So the question is, can I trust when I say my prayer? God, do you know what prayer I say each time I use my dowsing rods? Okay. When I say that prayer, am I only speaking to messages of truth? Okay, so every answer I get through my dowsing rods is 100% the truth based on my question, based on timeline, all that kind of stuff? Yes. Okay. Are the answers coming from the light only? Yes. Okay. Is there any time that I'm communicating through the dowsing rods that I am communicating with dark energy? No. Would I be if I didn't say is there a chance I could be if I didn't say my prayer? Yes. Okay. Okay. So the prayer I am saying is just fine to access the truth, the light, and so yes and yes. And what about answers for the highest good? Yes. Okay. So those who have different kind of prayers, and if it's generally similar to mine, but they might be asking for, just have it in different language. All of those prayers are basically doing the same thing. Yes. Okay. All right. Kind of interesting, you guys. So give yours a try and write that down. In the name of Christ, are you the purest and highest light? Because let's just say you start to develop, or you do have a clairvoyance or clairaudient skill, or you've just developed that. Then if you ever got a little nervous, you could ask that. And if you ask it 3 times, an honest answer must be given. The law of challenge. That's awesome. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about yesterday. I remember yesterday I was like, wait, I want to tell you guys something. And I couldn't find it. But I found it last night because I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. So, and then it says in the 5th dimension, if we move into this golden future, the only guidance needed for monitoring society will be the spiritual laws, the 33 spiritual laws. So just, I'm going to start focusing my life on the 33 spiritual laws. They're all extremely positive, so not hurtful at all. So that would be, and I think all the 33 laws also will help you raise your vibration if you work on them. I might even do a different section in my bullet journal for each of the 33 laws. In fact, you could see what I was working on last night. Dissolve the rise of conscious anger. I was going to pull some cards for some guidance on that. Since this is the energy of the month, dissolve the rise of conscious anger. There's nothing wrong with dissolving it. We want to dissolve it. We want to look at it. Dissolving means that you actually let it bubble up, look at it. So whatever anger is coming up at you, not stuffing it down, because we've been doing that as a society and individually for so long. We need to let it rise up, look at it. And actually, I might not do cards on it. I might actually write in when I feel anger so that I can look at it. That's actually what I'm going to do. So I can look at the anger that I'm feeling and let it hopefully work on dissolving it. So anyways, that was a little off topic, but I might do, this bullet journal is so nice and thick. There's so many things I could do in here. But I might do the 33. It might take a long time, but who cares? The 33 laws, and just kind of study them a little bit. So there's just so many things we could just focus on, right? The one thing I am going to do, I am thinking about designing my own. So that my own bullet journal. And if I do that, I would print it for myself. If I do that, I might, if it works out kind of cool, I might have it available. It would have to be through Amazon, I think. So, but I'm thinking about designing my own so that I don't have to keep writing. Like they would have the boxes and everything. So anyways, I just feel inspired to do that for some reason. I think it would be kind of fun. Okay, so lots to think about. Let me know if you're planning on going to one of the protests. Let me know if you've been writing. Anything, again, good news, anything that's coming up that is making you feel inspired. Look at all the good things people are doing now. The meditating at 3:00, the prayers for manifesting for the highest good, the looking into different things, different ways of looking at life. Noticing how everything F45 is putting out there, he just backs down from it. He's full of malarkey. Who does that come from? Malarkey, right? He's full of malarkey. And he's proving that he is, And I am going to trust. I'm not going to sit in fear about the whole treasury thing. I'm going to trust that they're actually going to, come on. If they don't do anything about it, it's just ridiculous. We'll rise up. We'll figure out a way to deal with it. But Elon Musk is proving to be a big joke, actually. And especially if you listen to David Feldman that I posted in the post. His last part about Elon, it's very, very, very interesting. He's a joke. It's a joke. Why people think he's just like 45. He's just like him. They lie about everything. They don't actually have the money that, he basically, Twitter is 80% less. It's worth 80% less than it was when he bought it. They don't know what they're doing. They never have. So people put them on a pedestal, and it's pretty funny. It's not funny, but you know what I mean? It's a joke. So, okay, well, let's do a card real quick. Can't leave on that note. I just decided I'm not going to ask the SGs today. I'm just going to pick, because I love this deck. So let's just see what message they have for us today. I'm going to leave it simple. What do they want us to look at today? All right. So I already did say the prayer, but I'll say it again. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides and guardians, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel so it's only of the light. Amen. And I do call in the God consciousness, so there we have it. All right. So, you guys, What would be, so it's February 4th, what would be the most helpful message for anyone that you know is going to listen to this video at the end? How many people are here still? How many of you guys are still here? What would be the most helpful message for us? Okay, that I don't know what that even means. I am going to ask the SGs because sometimes when multiple things pop, then I'm not quite sure. So is this the card that you wanted us to have? Is this the card that you wanted us to have? The one that just came out? Nope. Okay. All right. Put that one in. It was this, the Alchemist Artist. I mean, I could look in the book to see what that meant, but okay, let's keep going. What message would you like us to have today? What can we walk away with for some insights? Let me see. Is this next card the card you want us to have? All right. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. Let's see. I do actually prefer if they pop out. Like that one was just kind of sticking out. So maybe I should just wait till they pop out. But sometimes I get impatient. Okay. See, like that one. Oh, interesting. Okay, is this the card that you want us to have? Okay, that I actually felt. Okay. All right. It is coming soon. Welcome to the next ascending age. It's an 8. That's cool. Aren't those images just fun? I just find it so... All right, let's read about this. Coming soon. All right. It's time to awaken your role in the next ascending age of evolutionary consciousness of humanity. The ancient prophecies predicted light eons followed by darkness. This era is part of an approximately 26,000 year cycle that's part of a cycle within greater galactic cycles. Our world is stepping out of a descending age, and into a ascending silver age, right? I mean, the word descending is not positive, it's backwards, right? Ascending. I love that. I never really thought of ascending that way when they talked about it in this terms. Ascending silver age, where we'll uncover long hidden gifts and talents. This is very exciting. Thank you for being here in this emerging now. Thank you for showing up at the right time. Thank you for who you are becoming. That's awesome. The cosmic catalyst is what is my role to play in the greater story unfolding. Okay, we each have a different role to play. This is why we don't tell each other what to think. We don't tell each other what to do. We offer ideas of what you're doing and it might inspire somebody. But if it doesn't inspire somebody, that's what's inspiring you. That's your intuition talking to you. Okay, so what is your role? What is my role to play in the greater story unfolding? Cosmic checkbox. Research myths and stories of the great year and see if there is a resonance you feel. Okay. So you can research myths and stories of the great year. Never heard of that before. And see if there is a resonance you feel. So there's some action you can take. All right. This was a good message to end on. I love it. All right. Have an amazing day and I'll see you tonight. Bye-bye.